For today's excursion in and outside of Nairobi, our group traveled first to a Mothers and Children's Hospital and secondly to a children's home. XXXIII Hospital was founded and the mission was to assist mothers and children who are the residents of the slum of Korogocho, which houses a population of around 600,000. The organization's original mission is a great example of the Ubuntu value of inclusiveness. The children sought out by the hospital come from many backgrounds, whether they be in the sewers, in the forest, or abandoned in the slums by families who did not want or could not support. In many cases, the children were born with some form of disability, resulting in families believing in curses. This is extremely significant in a culture with a deep belief in curses, magic, and witchcraft, and the malice and destruction associated with these supernatural phenomena. To quote the speaker of the hospital excursion, Dr. Victor Abor, "We are not helping the ones of us who are the worst off when we are failing." As he described the progression of the organization, the pattern of inclusiveness was very apparent because the partners of the women in the slums realized services were accessible. The hospitals on it to say the night, it goes on and on and on and on. Strangers, something in the boulevard and shadows searching in the night. Street lights, people, expanded its inclusivity to encompass the men as well for outpatient services. As time went on, the other community members realized that the hospital was now in the area, and more patients were naturally drawn to the institution. As a result, the inclusivity of the hospital grew to include many community members of different socioeconomic backgrounds, leading to innovations in pricing for different customers. Those who could afford to have insurance have to pay fairly increased rates. Those who come from the slum with documentation have to pay about 20,000 Kenya shillings for services. At 9:22 a.m., XXXIII Hospital had a whole tour group sitting at a conference table. This is a Catholic-funded hospital led by Victor Abor, the hospital administrator. He calls himself the engine of the hospital. They use Kenyan practices as a case study. Oh no, that's what we were doing as students. He lit up when Nya brought up EHR quality. There was sexual assault around 2008 surrounded by the slums. The slums are the poorest of the poor. One major problem. The more poor they are, the more children. Deliveries, babies. So the solution was a hospital specifically mother and child services focused. It started not with a poor concept. Health is a fundamental human right, and as time went on, the rich started coming to the hospital. There were children born with disabilities who were considered cursed, and occupational therapists are sent to the slums at no cost to help rehabilitate them. Safety in the slums for the employees is paramount. They needed to identify areas where mothers could come which were safe. Police could provide security, especially during election time. Teenage pregnancy, rape, employees. Teenage pregnancy and rape are big issues, so employees search and enroll pregnant teens. They cover C-sections and healthcare up to 2 months after birth. Outpatient services for men as well. There's an emergency department for traffic accidents, a specialist wing for optical, dental, pediatrician, and gynecologists. Pricing for cash payers, pricing for insurance. It's called the Naima Charity Account. For those with no money is the third option. And then controlled limited access to this. It makes work easier for employees. The emergency account for those without access to Naima Charity Account. This is the fourth option. It is only in healthcare. Any person can be a patient at any time. Assembly style, standardized steps for all staff, training staff, communication, transparency, a clear atmosphere. They measure performance with staff appraisals, quarterly, biannual, and annual evaluations. The data doesn't lie. Hands on necks, palms out, embarrassed or overwhelmed body language. This is a note I made about the presenter. In the slums, nutrition and hygiene, education and prevention. They put about 25.3 million Kenya shillings. There's a sickle cell wing. In 2013, first time universal health care was established. Public doctors recommended patients to their private clinics, and they were financially stable with resources. They had a triage that starts at the main gate, privacy windows in maternity and postnatal wings.
Come tell us how you slew those old elder Arabs 2 by 2. How the Zulus, they had spears and bows and arrows. How you bravely faced one with your 16-pounder gun. And you frightened all the natives to the marrow. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight.
You ready?
Like a man. Show your way how you won the medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the
Okay. Someone take it.
Now the time is coming fast, and I think the days are here where the English yeomen, they'll be run before us. And if there be a need, then our kids will say Godspeed with the versers who are singing this fine chorus. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lakes of Calyssandra.
My fellow citizens of the galaxy, how much is enough? I mean, really, how many fucking Star Destroyers and Death Stars and space gas do y'all motherfuckers need before I can have mine? Before we can have ours? I have had it with these motherfucking snakes in this motherfucking Senate. On my whole planet of Naboo, the people are literally starving. They have no food, no clothes, and I'm telling you, it's so bad. How bad? The children are literally abandoned in the streets, in the sewers, in the wild, because our people have no way to feed them. It's time to put the dookie in the toilet, flush it, and take the trash out while you're at it. We have had enough. If the power belongs to the people, why is it only the rich people in the core worlds that see any of the tax money? It's a disgrace, and I am too full of shame to continue participating in it any longer. Death to tyrants.
If you're gonna go here in Davao, this is the places you're gonna buy everything.
The book on my store ran off, I nearly lost my mind. I shut my eyes to hold my breath. My mama, don't you cry. Oh, my mama, oh, don't you cry for me. 'Cause I come from my Bagando with the banjo on my knee. I'll soon will be on Coruscant, and then I'll look all around. And when I find my Mathma, I'll fall upon the ground. But if I do not find her, this Wookiee will surely die. And when I'm dead and buried, Mon Mothma, don't you cry. Oh, Mon Mothma, don't you cry for me. 'Cause I come from Nabagado with the banjo on my knee. Oh, Mon Mothma, don't you cry for me. 'Cause I come from Nabagado with the banjo on my knee.
Come on, Mama knows. Everybody, let's go. Come on, we can do it. I know that we can do it. ¿Dónde estamos? Estados Unidos. ¿Dónde estamos? Estados Unidos. ¿Dónde estamos? Estados Unidos. ¿Dónde